All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to your, I was going to say Tuesday, but now definitely Wednesday. And pretty interesting session yesterday, right? So, not super busy from our perspective. Market kind of gave us a pretty chunky move in the pre-market session, and then a pretty kind of late afternoon right breakdown after a morning. It was pretty smooth, or I'd say pretty consistent chop. So kind of one of those days where it just took a long time for price action to digest itself, and then it broke down pretty significantly on a daily time frame, right? We definitely look like we've got some trending markets to the downside, but potential for our volume profile yesterday to be like a little bit of a capitulation type style. If we look at the kind of previous candles, right, that are of similar intensity, right? There's a pretty often little bullish reversal that seems to happen, right? Either the immediate following day or in kind of like the subsequent five or six, especially once you're in a more defined, like bullish trending market. It's basically breakout, capitulation day, right? Which is like just a bearish outlier day, continue going, capitulation day, continue going. We want to figure out which effectively variant this is today, right? Is it a kind of like bull market trend pullback? Is it the start of a long term trend? Is this the point now where price action wants to consolidate and kind of hang out within? And that means that we probably want to be less aggressive than we expect. Talked about this a little bit yesterday, and we certainly put a big focus and emphasis onto it. But as markets get crazier and things get wild and wacky, right? 99% of traders are just trying to chase that action, right? They're trying to get the easy move. They're trying to catch the fastest win. They're trying to do X, Y, Z, or whatever. And it doesn't work, right? 99% of traders aren't the ones who are making profitable decisions. It's the people who choose to be outliers, right? It's the individuals who maintain their discipline. It's the traders that really focus on controlling the variables that they can control that ultimately extract the most amount of money from the market. What highly volatile conditions bring, right, is not the opportunity to make more money or lose more money or make less money or lose less money. They bring the opportunity to create more psychological, emotional, right? Kind of like mental trigger points that can exaggerate decision making, that can create that out of body experience, that can do all sorts of those nasty little things. So, our job here today is to really fight back against that kind of like complacency to fall for the trap of speed and to hopefully, find ourselves some nice smooth momentum, good trading action, and then hopefully get a smooth trade or two. Today does expect to be like a little bit wackier than yesterday. We've got Trump speaking, might have already started, and then we've got pending home sales here at 10 a.m. That definitely creates like just the like, or sorry, the potential for political fireworks. I don't know where I was going with that. Um, and yeah, important that we try to not get in the way of the train, right? We kind of get out of the way of like the freight train if one's coming around the corner. So today, really, again, like I said, be very deliberate, really control our variables well, figure out if it's consolidation, continuation, or capitulation. So if it's one of the three C's, and then let's see if we can get some nice action to be associated with that here today. The old ES textbook 3 for 3 to the downside. Looking at 25,000 as our starting. 25,100 is fine. Let's split it up a little bit, but worst case scenario, it's going to get taken care of by the indicator. All right, to the upside here, you're looking at 20. 5.3. A little bit tight, but eh. And then let's see if it's got some. Yes. Not very often I do NQ first. So same thing here, 3 for 3 to the downside. Again, is it capitulation, continuation, or consolidation? Right, that's what we're asking ourselves. Yesterday's candle. Looking at like 810. Low, maybe 820 we can call it. Our starting point to the downside. And then call it to 70, 67, 70. Okay, to the upside here. Obviously, markets are reacting a little bit to whatever's going on in the background. We're at 68, 62, 65, 64. All right, this will be a punchy open. I guess I go like 68, 80 as your starting point here. We'll see. All right, CL 3 for 3 to the upside. Looks like a little trend line bounce. One still the target to the upside. I got no problem with that. To the downside here, you'd be looking 59. Not super enthusiastic, I would say, about a bear move on CL, but be there. Okay, Apple, bear flag, 2 out of 3. It's without volume. Oh, no. Oops. Close. With Tesla, red candle, increasing volume gap up, kind of setting up as an inside bar. Microsoft, green candle, gap up, 2 out of 3 with volume. Quote unquote trending price action, but not exactly strong trending price action. Amazon 3 for 3 here to the downside. Oh, sorry, 2 on here. AMD 3 for 3 to the upside. Not a great 3 for 3, pretty terrible looking candle shape. If I were to visualize that candle, its body is an arrow, or it's like it's an arrow pointing down. No, maybe not an arrow pointing up. So even if I were super aggressive here, I probably want to see 240 act as support before I'm willing to day trade it too hard. Nvidia, again, kind of looks like a bit like Tesla. Very similar type setup, very similar type gap. Maybe a bit more aggressive volume on Nvidia. But interesting. If we start to get into a lot of these gaps, try to do like these bottom up gap fills. Kind of have that one there. That's most pressing. We might get some nice like bounce back price action today. All right, Meta 1 out of 3. Netflix. They move them ahead. Rushed. Maybe not. And then the old Vixaroonie yesterday was in the 20s. Now with Trump yapping away, we're in the 18.5 range. See how that goes. How's everyone feeling today? Everyone feeling good? Fantastic. Good to hear. Roberto, I like that. Hey, great to hear you're all set up with Trading View. Fantastic. Appreciate that, Eric. Thank you. Love that. Excited to welcome you to the team. Right click. Amazing. All right, guys, we got a couple minutes here, 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna make myself a quick cup of coffee, just get my mind right before the trading day starts, and yeah, we'll get after it. So we'll be back in a minute or two. All right, so let's get after it here, guys. Let's see how it reacted open, right? We're judging the volume and we're judging the size of the opening range. 45 seconds in or 50 seconds in here, I would say pretty good size range, maybe not that impressive of a volume profile. Now, yesterday's volume was increasing in outlier by a significant margin, right? Kind of our largest volume Say from like since November. Yeah, interesting. Trying to see if there's like a pattern, that I can notice or whatever. But it's too galaxy brain for this early in the morning. 73 points. I mean, it's a good size opening range. I would say it's a relatively indecisive open. Yeah, sure. Very, very indecisive. It almost makes me think like either markets waiting for Trump to say something like as a catalyst, right? Uh, maple syrup's gotten too expensive in the US, so tariffs in Canada going up by 90% or something like that. Yeah, I could see that being a scenario. Um, maybe it's like waiting for that a little bit. The other alternative here is it could just be waiting for him to be done talking. Yeah, I mean we know, yeah, we know he's talking now. I actually don't know when he stops. He started at 8:30, so he's been going now for about an hour. Which for Trump is still pretty early on. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him do like 2 hours, to be honest. The other element, right, is just contextually. If we look at daily time frame here, a little bit easier to see this. I'm gonna hide the drawings just for a second, if you guys bear with me. So if we look at just consistently, right, what happens after extreme high vol bearish candles, right, going back a long way, either like a day of consolidation or an inside bar, right? So from August, okay, inside bar, right? Big bearish volume, inside bar, big bearish volume, right? Inside bar, big bearish volume, previous day, inside bar, right? Big bearish volume, little breakout, but maybe a bit of a narrative there, right? Inside bar, right after that, big bearish volume, inside bar, right? Fake out lower and then kind of closes just literally right above the open. Here, barely call that big volume, but inside bar the following day. Here, right? Couple sessions of basic consolidation, just stuck inside that range. Big volume, huge indecision, big volume, fake out inside bar type action, inside bar. So, not getting an inside bar setup here today, like we've already made lower lows in the morning session, but it does create an environment that like a little bit um like maybe we just gotta be careful we're not fighting the trend, right, to a certain extent. the trend oftentimes here is like indecision or non-trending price action. We don't want to now assume we have it prior to, yeah, like clearing all the doubts, right? So like really what we want to focus on today, and this might be frustrating for some of you, but it's, hey, how can I control my impulses around making decisions in fast markets? How can I effectively slow down price action so I'm making things binary and objective? And then if I do get those narratives, how can I make sure that I'm creating asymmetric upside for myself and I'm not just chasing volatility? I'm actually playing, high conviction setups. I think if we look at this price action here so far, for everything that we've seen here so far, it's wouldn't say it's particularly indicative of like really smooth trending PA of one side or the other being super in control. It feels a little bit bouncy, right? It feels a little bit jumpy. I don't know if I would necessarily consider it nervy type price action, but it indecisive at the very best. And it's kind of like it's decent volatility, right? Singular candles here are moving 50, 60 points. These are fast moving trades. This has potential, right, to make you a lot of money. Don't fall for it and chase it, obviously, right? Be more deliberate there and fight back against those impulses. But that's also going to create like an environment where you can potentially create extra pressure for yourself, right? Where if we do get into a trade or we do get into a position that we've got like an extra like emotional burden, right? Maybe PNL moves faster than expected, and that would trigger like a sensation to get greedy or would make you think that the move's never going to stop or whatever it is. So as we've got a little bit of time, as we're waiting for something to give us an appropriate confirmation standard, kind of work through some of those scenarios in your head, right? And decide how you're going to behave when you get to those trigger points. For me, right, the focus that I'm really trying to put my energy into is just analyzing candlesticks post entry as like a binary or a objective thing, right? Either I get the exact type of candle and volume profile that I want after my entry candle, or I don't. If I don't get the candle volume shape profile, right, that I'm looking for, then I'm closing the trade. If I do get it, then I'm willing to trust my thesis and keep going. I'm giving myself a binary decision where previously I would have an opportunity to maybe make a greedy decision, and I can hopefully control that sensation. The goal, especially on a day like today, is to have as many of those like trigger points, however you want to call them, sort of mapped out or prepared in your head here already so that you're not surprised when something comes together. So if you're looking at a trade and you're deciding how you want to manage your entries, just having that plan played out in your head, having that preparation already kind of all set up and good to go will make a very significant difference in how well you're able to manage that psychology. So the more kind of structured and methodical and deliberate and thorough you are in that sort of like mental mapping of these trigger points, the better your psychology is going to go and the easier it will be to manage. The probably worth mentioning here a couple reasons why I'm not interested on this trade here on the 3 min time frame. It's effectively that we couldn't close above sort of, I would say, two key benchmarks here. So I didn't like that we couldn't close above that previous high, so above this candle's high. And then I didn't like that we couldn't close above that 200. I think the speed at which we've seen of rejection since that 200 area couldn't hold is also quite telling, and it's for sure an indication that a lot of that volume is in this, like we'll say, quarter of the candle range. That's effectively rejecting in the upper third of today's price action. Similar idea here on NQ. If we can maybe get a nice little breakdown to confirm here. This would have been really hard to have played it as a particular fake out, right? Not really any pullback there after that candle close. You got maybe 4.25 points of pullback. So it's a good volume candle, but would have never given us an opportunity for a clean execution. What we're looking for here with, we'll say 20 seconds to go, is a close below that blue line, right? We want to see a breakout away from the indecision or kind of choppiness that we've established here so far this morning. And ideally, we want to see that with as close to the volume we got on the previous candle. Pretty good. Right, it's a nice candle shape. This is our confirmation or setup candle, right, with confirmation. Kind of using this as a secondary confirmation bar and building off of this setup trigger. Now we want to see where some of this, rejection stuff starts to happen. We want to think back a little bit to what we just saw in the 3-minute time frame, where we saw kind of a green candle like this, right, get reversed entirely and sell off. Probably wouldn't be too surprising for us to get the complete and total opposite of that to occur here on a bullish or a big bearish candle, right, for us to make a very aggressive higher high type rejection. The name of the game here is to be way more patient than we anticipate. No, I don't have a particular number of ticks I consider to be a full indication that I'm wrong on my thesis or that a stock is turning. Um, in my opinion, like each setup just has its own like little personality quirk and its own little sweet spot, right? But all things considered, we have to be reasonable on what we expect to be, I guess, precision. Um, like when we're entering trades, the difference between my reference price and my entry price is like about 10 points, right? Give or take. Like my average loss is I think 6.9 points or something like that. So we're already dealing with like a very small number on a 25,000 point security. So I think we're already like really being aggressive in how we're managing those ticks or in how we're keeping that sizing. Um, but I would say it's more of a byproduct of our desire to create that asymmetric upside in our trades, right? So to keep that risk really tight so that it's easy for us to get a 3-to-1 return. And yeah, it's not something that I would like, oh, this trade's got to have 10 points or this trade's got to have 12 ticks or this trade, if it's not 7.25 ticks, it's fugazi. Like that, I think starts to get too much galaxy brain. So I'd be careful with that. But I think we're already keeping it pretty tight and pretty precise. All right. So again, not enough volume here. A good decision to basically sit and wait so far. kind of disastrous price action at the moment. Done a good job being patient. I have no complaints. I'll be right back, guys. Can just fill up my coffee. And probably not going to go increasing here, right? Volume, probably not. Freeman, probably not. 5 men, maybe, but it's a long time away. Oh, we're still waiting here, unfortunately. Really strange. When I lived in Montreal or lived out east, winters were much colder than they were here or are here. Like pretty often, you'd be waking up and you're going outside, and it's I don't know, minus like 10 or 15 degrees Celsius, and then you're just freezing your nuts off as you're taking your dog for a walk around the block. Here, it feels colder, but it's like 0 or -1 or -2. I always feel colder here. I don't know why that matters for anybody, but observations in a choppy morning. I don't know. I really don't think we've missed out on much here, to be honest. I don't know if there's even like a galaxy brain setup I could talk myself into. Yeah, it could be it. I never thought about the humidity impacting it that way. Hey, can we get it? Increasing volume. Do you have it? 30 seconds. That's a Okay, I was going to say that was a crappy candle close, but kind of bailed itself out there at the end. Let's see if we can get a little fake out here. Yeah, the news is not too big today. Like pending home sales and construction spending. It's not going to be a particularly large impact on the NASDAQ, tech heavy. So, I'm going to talk about it, right? I'm going to tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But you can look at the visual cues on my screen, right? Red line's a stop loss. If you see a lot of big green candles, I'm probably not going short. If you see a lot of big red candles, right, I'm probably not going long. But truth be told, I would really recommend that you spend some time, go through the courses, use those materials to show up and be prepared. It's fundamentally, you're going to make a lot more money if you don't just think, hey, I'm going to win the lottery by clicking submit right now and take it seriously. The other element, right, is that the number one rule that you have to accept when you join this chat and to join the stream is to come prepared. That type of question, that type of question when we're looking at a setup is the complete opposite of preparation. And I do not appreciate the very selfish approach there to think that you're going to get bailed out by not doing the work. So, politely, I would ask that you actually show up and do the preparation, or I will tell you to fuck off. We get an increasing volume standard here again. Okay, go to increasing outlier volume and see if we can establish a fake out that's tradable. I don't trust this 264 yet. That's why I'm waiting. Be very patient here. Be very, very patient. Don't know if I see an entry here yet. I'm still not convinced that the fake out low is in. Ooh, better. We could try this on the 2 min here. Keep the risk really tight again. That's our objective. And for a little fake out, be aggressive to say we've had one already. No, we're okay for now, Kobe. Our target here with our opening range, 369. Had a strong little breakout here. We've got good volume through it. The actual thing here, pre-entry, we're okay. Now, if we get a break, close and hold prior to an entry target, then yeah, we would need to see it hold 300. Kind of what we were hoping for a little bit was to be able to get like a little pullback or a little entry just under it so that if it does break out, I can take advantage of that squeeze. Oh, we've missed that, right? Again, I can't really trust this fake out here on the 3, so we need to see a move under that 296. But again, back to now the 2 min time frame. 314 would be our stop loss for now. As I'm seeing too many opinions and not enough recollections of facts, right? We're trading what we, or too many of us are thinking what we think price is going to do. We're not reacting to what our rules are telling us to do. Let's try to be very deliberate here, very specific, not try to talk ourselves out of trades, not try to talk ourselves into trades, right? You've got to execute your rules without adding extra nonsense. It's slowing yourself down and slowing everyone else down, right? So be very patient here, guys. Be very deliberate. I think we're getting too much like trying to talk ourselves out of a good thing here. All right, see how it closes. Not a super high conviction candle here on the 2 min. Still not super convinced by that fake out, right? Which is why there's no reference price. If it fakes out, we're looking at a 321 here. Stop loss of 321. Just be patient, though. Be patient. Still have no reference price. Not looking for an entry yet. starting to like this a little bit. Fill I wanted. I'm going to try this potential again. I missed it. I missed it. Try to get a fill at 28. Couldn't quite get it. Might happen here pretty quick. Watching here carefully. Close, but no cigar on that pullback. See again. Hey guys, I'm in 325.50, 325.50 long, stop loss at 321. Let's see if this thing can go. Ooh, don't like that. All right, guys, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Exit price 22.50. Did not like that rejection. I took a $312 hit there. Potentially try this again. You'd be looking at a 313.50. I don't care. They're still talking. That's fine. I had the right thesis just a little bit early. So you have to understand, Trump is probably the most stock market obsessed president of my trading career. He cares very much that the market does well when he's talking out at the World Economic Forum. Cares very much. Looking at a 314 stop loss at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I prefer to stay out of politics and just focus on price action at the moment. So 313 would be the stop. I'm going to definitely let this candle close. Got some trust issues with it. Yeah, it didn't quite close as a fake out, and then it freaking explodes higher. Classic. Oh, good times. Yeah, no setup for now. Feels like such a what a steady line this was, eh? Possibly bull flagging a little bit here. Yeah, I can't comment on any trade evade updates or things along those lines. I got no visibility or anything like that, right? Unfortunately, it's got nothing to do with DTR. Like, it's not something that we can support any tech support for. I'd recommend reaching out to Trade Evade. They'd be able to help you and let you know if something has changed. We're trying to see if this is like a bull flag, right, or like a consolidation breakout spot, or if I don't know, this is like a spot where price action kind of dies and maybe reverts back to the mean a little bit. Hmm. Pretty pretty low volume. That's lowest volume bar of the day by a lot. Hmm. Have a galaxy brain set up here. I'm gonna wait. It is fascinating how now and then the market's like it would be really fun for you to do today. Spend all day sabotaging yourself. I feel like today is one of those types of days where a lot of people are going to chase and get crushed. So I want to acknowledge that, like that thought out loud, right? Whereas, like, okay, I have a galaxy brain set up, or I got something ultra creative. Trying to acknowledge, like, market wants to make you do that when there's volatility. Succumbing to that temptation, probably not worth it. Um, kind of a lack of volume here. It's your flag, effectively. Can get decent volume here, then we would have a narrative to like a 400 maybe. There's a little bit of a desire to use this as our volume shelf, fake out entry. It would look like this. I'm obviously waiting here still. And there's your possible fake outs. If you're looking at a 300 stop loss, a nice number. I mean, I could do that. I would be potentially interested. So generally the reason why, right, is so if we're calling it a flag, bull flag's supposed to have basically an equal move in one flagpole and an equal move in the other. So equal move to the other, kind of just eyeballing it, looks a little bit more like 400 than it does the indicator line. That makes sense? Like a bull flag's kind of a pattern you're theoretically supposed to see in the middle of a move. Struggling to be able to maybe generate the you're looking at here-ish if you're keeping track at home. 313 would be the stop loss. What the fuck? Mean 3 or 4 points away from what would have been a incredible entry. Ruthless, ruthless, ruthless. As fun as it would be to chase and do something stupid, right? Not doing that, not falling for that nonsense. I miss it. I miss it. Tough shit. There'll always be another one. Yeah, I agree, Brad. Like, is my day really going to be ruined if I lose $312 today? No, I think I'll be okay. Will my day be like the best day of all time if I make $313 today? No, I think I'll probably be fine. Oh, singular trade's not going to change anything. Your life changes right after hundreds of trades. Never in a good way. The upside. I don't know probability wise, to be honest with you, Hugo. I don't know those stats off the top of my head. Yeah, they're a classic pattern for a reason. One man actually looks pretty reasonable. Here's your possible fake out. There's a little bit of a greasy confirmation. The 3-1 stop. It's kind of your fake out, right? uh, yeah, I mean, I'm just watching this. I don't anticipate being able to trade this. For me, I don't have a reference price, or I don't have a reference price drawn yet. I do feel like it's finding support. I think it's just hard to get that stop loss price correct. Little pullback, retest off of bull flag. Pretty nice looking setup. $21. It keeps doing that though, right? It keeps finding support, keeps bouncing, keeps showing it's got some rhythm left to it. Looking there-ish. 17. I mean, I don't think the candle shape is absolutely perfect here, right? I think it's a context of everything that we're seeing, right? So it's okay, it's the breakout from the consolidation, it's the failed retrieval of bears to be able to pull it back off of support, and it still hasn't reached an upper target. So the yeah, I mean, I think it would have been a good setup. Here it's a little bit less appealing, right? At 354 to play this now to 400, that kind of sucks. I didn't think the setup was that big of a compromise. I think it was tough to get an entry, like really, really tough to get an entry. Like I think maybe we outweighted it a little bit too much, which is sort of the counter to being maybe a bit more aggressive with the thesis. Because like it faked out, I think 3 times, or gave us the what felt like 3 fake outs. And then it ran, and then once it kind of gave us that, final capitulation oomph, never retested entry. Kind of ends up being one of those setups where it's like, yeah, this works in theory, like you can see it play out, but to actually execute it and to make it all work, it's probably a little bit harder. That's all good though. Keeping it nice and calm so far. Again, this isn't an interesting candle here. On a volume and at these highs, I would effectively need to see a breakout above 377. It's become pretty tight for us, right? Maybe realistically, or not realistically. That's probably not a fair way of describing it. Nothing's realistic anymore. But maybe the path we have for like a big move, easier path for a big move might be to the downside at this point. If we could see some of that momentum start to shift. I'm going to speak reversal into existence here. Easier said than done. Okay, let's see if this is the breakout here. I almost want it to get up as close to 400 as possible here now, so we could play a 400 breakout towards 5. And we couldn't get that entry though on that flag setup. That was pretty solid. Probably not going to get to that increasing outlier volume on the 2 min, right? Not with only a couple seconds to go. We might be hard pressed to get the look we want here yet. We just weren't getting things to like find support to establish a clean stop loss. It just wasn't bouncing that nicely off of those initial levels until that like third bounce. And then when the third bounce happened, it just never pulled back to the. Say 400 is probably going to be our catalyst for either confirmation of the continuation or our spot where we start to see a pretty aggressive rejection. If for now, it looks a little bit more like a continuation move. This for sure should get outlier. 30 seconds. Huh. I'm shocked it didn't have the juice to get the outlier. Oh, maybe. I would say I got a little sliver there. I'm going to take it. So now we're looking for a move to 500. There. And let's see if this thing can behave in a reasonable and civilized manner. 392 is what we're looking at right now for a stop loss. 392. And our reference price here. Oh, it's going to do it to me. Oh, today. Like, got a really good pulse on the market, but I can't find the vein. It's weird. Okay, again, we're still in business here. Now it's 417 as a stop loss. Okay, so now you're looking at a 415, maybe higher. 409, let's see. Okay, 408 you'd be looking at. Get up to 418. 408, guys. 408 would be the stop loss. Oh, no. You missed my entry there. Fuck. Fuck you. Oh, so mean. I hope a few of you guys got the entry there. Okay, I was looking at a 432 now. Things in squeeze mode. I can't get on. Okay, watch carefully here. A little bit lower. What are you doing? Hmm. Moving a little bit too fast. Pretty aggressive pullback. Looks like a rejection. Possibly have a setup here to the downside, I would say. If you caught your entry long, right, I would say this would be your exit target. Now, the fake out here is going to be very important for us to establish. Hmm. It looks like that on the two. Okay, better. All right. Let's go, Kobe. Nice work, guys. Just gonna wait, see if this sets up nicely for us here, right next to him in candle. We've got a long way to go now. 47 would be your stop on this at the moment. That. Probably like around there should kind of be what I'm targeting. It's our fake out spot potentially. I'd put us at 51 as a stop loss. Reference price would be 44. Moving a little bit too fast, too close to that stop. I'm patient here still. Go Earl, congrats. I'd push stop now to be 54. I really feel like this is behaving like the fake out that I maybe hated or wanted or dreamt of or had in my deepest and darkest desires. It was more like a continuation breakout pop. Back to look into the upside here. Projection thesis is dead. We're looking for a continuation one. Okay, so 451 would be your stop loss. Reference price about there. See if we can get a gentle pullback here now. I did just get a fill 57.75, 57.75. See if this thing can go immediately. I didn't like that fill too much. Come on. Go, go, go. I just took the stop. That was maybe a little aggressive. This is another potential opportunity here for our little fake out if we could establish it. 440 would be the stop for now. I'd be looking under this little pullback spot as my entry. Taking 2 paper cuts here so far today. Yeah, no. A little bit like I can't buy the entry I want today. All right, reset, maintain focus. Nice work, Wall Street flip. Fake out here. I need 12 points. That's what I need to be green. Baby fake out, 64. Two. Okay, 62 it is. Moving just a little bit chaotically fast. I'd be patient here. Better finding some support. Hey guys, I'm in 467.25, 467.25. Let's see if this thing can break out. I don't like how it's kind of stalling here a little bit. Come on. Come on. Hold 70 here. There it goes. There it goes. Let's see if we can keep pushing. Keep pushing here. Keep pushing. I don't like that rejection too much. Yeah, well, I think that's my exit signal here. So I'm going to look to try to get out as PNL is increasing. I don't like that retest of entry. Come on, give me a bounce. Come on, go. Oh, actually yelling at it worked. No way. Come on. Yeah, this is a crap candle. I just can't find my exit. Why am I struggling here? All right. Let go, let Powell. All right, guys, I'm out. Woo! 78. What an exit. Let go, let Powell worked. I can't believe it. What a way to trigger yourself out of a frozen state. I've said a lot of ridiculous things in this stream. That saying that and it working out. That was that's about as dumb as it gets in here. I mean, we still would have been fine here with our exits, Kobe, right? We still would have had time. But hey, made $1,000 on that. I will take it. uh no, I'm not quite in profit yet. I have covered a good chunk of losses though. Still down about like $200. Well, first loss was like $312. Second loss was a little bit more than that, but total like 12 points. Maybe we'll get a re-entry on this, Kiki. That'd be nice. Give us another crack at her. Held above highs, still reasonable-ish. Problem here is going to be getting appropriate risk reward. You have to be really tight. Get a little fake out under there. 67. That would be interesting. Nice work. Well done, Olivia. Let's see if this is the fake out spot. If it is, it'd be like this, right? 463. Okay, 462 is your stop loss. Oh! Oh, I hesitated for just a second. That was the perfect entry. Devastating. What a world we live in. What a world. Looking at an 81 stop loss here. Reference price would just be the green line. Hey guys, I'm in 85.25, 85.25, stop loss 81. Oh, look the stop, 4 points. Quick, worth it. Have the juice to try again, possibly. Not enough volume to play that as a bearish reversal. Might get another chance to play this. A little bullish pop. Looking at 461. Fast. Much better. Hey guys, I'm in 65.75, 65.75 long. Stop loss 61. Come on, go. Hmm. I don't like that, so I'm going to look for my exit here. Didn't like that little pullback and retest of my entry. If we can find an exit here as P&L is increasing. Come on. Here it goes. Oh, fantastic. Okay, this is definitely going to be the spot. Watch for this 80. I'm taking it there. 76.50 exit, 76.50 exit. $1,000 on that trade. Oh, starting to stack them up a little bit. And just finding some of that asymmetric upside. How you guys doing? How's everyone's psyche here this morning? Doing okay? Nice work, Chris. That puts me at about $300 on the day. Gonna be bruised and battered, Austin. We've been trading very calmly with really tight risk. Why that sensation? Hey, there's your possible fake out again. Nice work, Joshua. I want you to really focus, man, on walking away and protecting yourself from yourself, right? 467 would be what we're looking for here. Not convinced it's in play yet. All right. See if it fakes out here. Go, Marty. Congratulations. Go enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. Amazing. Don't need to do anything else. I like that, Earl. I love that reframing. Just looking at a 466 for now. Maybe still a little bit better. 465. Increasing volume. I don't think it's going to go outlier to the downside. Around there-ish. But no Cigaro. Come on. Hey guys, I'm in longs 68.75. 68.75. See if this thing can behave the way that I expect. Well, it just took the stop there, minus 400. Potentially try that again. 63 would have to be the stop. And I'm back in 67.25. Hmm. I have a weird one. Yeah, I just took the stop there as well. Oh, Austin, right? This is where you need to help yourself a little bit better. You were saying that you were feeling a little bit beat up, battered, and bruised. Why are you still here trading, man? Why are you not protecting yourself? Right? Why are you like willing to continue to make things feel worse? Right? You acknowledge that you weren't feeling your sharpest, that you weren't having your best day. But why are you willing to make it worse? I don't understand that. But that was the whole point of your message, right? You were saying, hey, I'm done for the day. If you've lost your mental capital and you've lost your ability to execute your edge, it doesn't matter if I call out 1,000 point win, right? You're not going to have the mental energy to be able to pull it off, right? We have to be much more deliberate about our psychology there because that's a losing habit, man. Right? We have to learn how to protect ourselves from ourselves. And when we acknowledge that our mental capital isn't where it needs to be, or we're not happy with our performance and we're out of that gas for the day, we're just going to put ourselves in really bad situations if we keep constantly trying to push the gas pedal, right? So if it gets to the point where, a 4 point loss or a 5 point loss is creating another one of those like emotional trigger points, then trading more isn't going to get better or help you get this thing, right? The thing that you're missing is the psychological connection that's impacting your decisions once you're in trades, right? And so you're constantly trying to override that by thinking, oh, I'll just get another winning trade or I'll find my next perfect play or whatever it might be. And then you don't make any money, right? Because your psychology isn't sharp and you're not protecting yourself from yourself and you basically maintain just like a P&L focus. As the hard work in trading isn't the trading part, right? You want to be a better trader, you don't need to place 1,000 trades. You have to be accountable to yourself. You have to study what decisions you're making, why you're making those decisions. You can live with them, right? If your actions are actually setting you up for that long term success that you're wanting. And then if they aren't, how can I change, study, and alter those behaviors to get closer to what I want? So I would say, right, Austin, that you're putting 90% of your energy towards thinking it's strategy, it's technique, it's this, that, and the other. And you're allowing all those other skills to not be at the same like level, right, as your technical skills. And that's creating stress, that's creating anxiety, that's making things feel hopeless. And you gotta fix that, man. Gotta get that process mindset sorted properly and understand what your job as a trader actually is. Very important, guys. This is the main difference between winners and losers, to be very honest with you, right? It is your mindset, it is your ability to remain consistent even when there's chaos going on around you. And today, I mean, I think I've been exceptionally calm. We've been keeping our risk very tight. We've been managing our trades well. So if we're burnt out or exhausted or we're tired by that, I get it, right? Nope, no problem. Just because I'm trading doesn't mean you have to still be trading, right? It's okay to admit that, hey, maybe I'm a little bit more mentally resilient as a trader than you are. And it's okay to want to work towards that and build towards those skills. But if your losses and your P&L is such a roller coaster, okay, when we're taking these small hits here today, right, where we're taking $300 hits with 5 contracts, when our sizing is that small and our risk is that small, and it's still like the weight of the loss is like the end of the world, and your position sizing is definitely working against you, and it's negatively impacting your ability to maintain your psychology. I would really think about, yeah, which side of your behaviors or which side of your actions are actually making you a better trader, and which set of behaviors or which set of actions give you the hope of being a better trader. So Austin, right? If you're burnt out then, right, and you're like, oh man, it's just not my day, you don't have to place 10 trades, right? You can make things easier for yourself by then not taking another loss once you're in that state. And if you feel like you need to revenge trade, right, then the size of the losses you took were too big. But like I said, I don't think for you, I don't think it's a technique issue. I think it's a psychology issue. I don't think you give yourself permission to like make mistakes and learn and to grow. You're giving yourself permission to only make money, and that's a very tough one-way conversation. Nice work, Zazu. Congratulations. Upload your trades to the dashboard when you have a chance. Great to take a look. And we're back in this insano banana land here. Oh, one min's pretty tempting because it gives really good risk reward. Or just playing off of this signal, calling it a fake out. Or 78 would be the stop loss for now. Or 77 maybe to keep it tight. I missed it. Remember, Austin, right? Trading is a game that's me versus me. Always. Upload your trades when you have an opportunity today, right? Send me a message when you have, and I'll take a look at your stuff this evening. Okay, Austin? Ooh, babies. Okay, well, if you have an error, email me the file, please. Same process always, guys, right? Same process. All right, so let's focus up here a little bit. Okay, so looking at like an 85 stop loss here. Might not get it on this candle. Increasing. We'll call it outlier. Now looking at a 460 stop loss. Let's see. There's the maybe fake out. 470 stop loss. Reference price about there. Hey guys, I am in 466 short. 466 short. Stop loss 470. Okay, took the stop. We'll potentially try this again. You know what I'm doing? I'm purposely, like, if I'm going to take a hit here, right, I'm taking it as small as I can possibly get away with. Right, I'm creating myself an opportunity to take same setup 2 or 3 times, right, while never exceeding my max risk. Now looking at like a 75 stop loss. And come on. That was mean. And watching here carefully. Hey guys, I'm in short 68.25. Stop loss at 76. Don't like that reaction. Come on, get under 60. You need to see separation. There, it's a little bit better. Give me separation here, please. Hmm. Feels a little bit like a failed move. Only reason I'd say it's not is because we didn't make a lower low under the confirmation candle. I'm trying to trust this as best as I can. Okay, there it goes. Much, much better. That's 1500. Let's see if this thing can break down. Keep pushing under 50 here and we'll be in great shape. And if this doesn't put you green on the day, then I don't know what will. So be really deliberate here in how you're managing your position and your profit targets and all this kind of stuff, right? Be deliberate in how you're closing this. Close as your P&L is increasing. Not the best candle. So let's see if we can get kind of like a shock value flush under 50. There's 49. Let's see if it's got the legs to do it again. The way that happened was a little bit suspicious. Let's see if it's got the juice to try again. Come on. Got stuck at 50. 49, 48. Flush, flush, flush. Smaller bounce this time. Who's with me here? Anyone with me here still? Love it, guys. Good job. Okay, so let's watch this thing carefully. I'm not liking how it's struggling at 50. That's a nice little bounce back to 60, which I don't like. All right, let's see if this thing can die a miserable death. Hmm. Increasing bearish volume at the very end. Wow. Oh. All right, let's see if this thing can flush. Sellers came in late there, but then they're not pushing early. That's a bit of a contradiction. Let's see if it's got the juice. Here it goes. There we go, guys. There we go. Oh, quick bounce. Quick bounce. All right, see if it's got the flush. Let's see if it's got the flush. Come on, go. Just struggling a little bit at that 50, eh? Just a little bit. Great exit, LJ. Fantastic. See if sellers show up late again in this candle like they did in the previous one. If they don't, I'll get out. If they do, I might still get out. Let's see. They showed up ish. I didn't close under 50, I don't think. Give me one more flush. Come on. I don't like that candle if I'm super honest. Come on. Whoa, you fucking asshole. What the hell was that about? Okay, well, I didn't like that at all, one bit. So let's see if this thing dies ASAP. But this for sure, that's for sure my reason to look for an exit. I hated the size of that and aggression of that move. That was disgusting. Yeah, this kind of looks a little bit like surviving a worst case scenario. A little bit. I still think I might be able to get a good exit here, guys. So let's see, let's see, let's see. I mean, that's looking much, much better all of a sudden. That was fucking mean, though. And it stalls out at 50. Die. I think this is stalling on me a little bit more than I would like, or it's stalling at that 50 more than I would like. And it has the potential to create like a relatively indecisive option. So I'm giving myself basically 30 seconds here to find my exit. So let's see if we can get something here pretty quick. Okay, 20 seconds left. There it goes. This is the moment, guys. This is the moment. Pay attention here. This is the moment. Oh, amazing patience. Amazing patience. Go. I'm at my 30 seconds. All right. I'm at my 30 seconds. I'm out. I had to fight it, but I'm out. No, it's the right decision. It's the right decision. The right decision. The $2,000 win. Like, I got to take that. It does feel like it wants to dump hard, which is why I need to get out, because that creates like an emotional attachment, right? If I think it's going to flush and then it keeps stalling out like it does and it does and it does, I'm just going to build that hopium nonstop, right? And then when this thing pulls back and this thing goes to my whatever, it's going to crush me. So it's not that I'm getting out because I didn't think it was going to flush. I did think it was going to flush, but because I'd already been fighting with my exit, right? Not getting out at that point would have led to an emotional attachment that I was trying to go. So it's just judging your psychology on that, right? More than anything. And it was a perfect decision. It was an absolutely perfect decision. Nice work, guys. Nice work. We had to be soldiers today a little bit. Amazing. Nice work, Kevin. Congratulations. Nice, AJ. But look, I'll take you guys' opinion on this here today, right? Probably we took a decent amount of trades for sure, right? We had a decent amount of action here today, kind of in that 10 trade range. But we kept our losers really tight, really small. I think we stayed pretty calm throughout the trading day. How did you guys feel? Is it okay? Was the pace of the stream okay? Did you guys know what I was trying to do? Well, I would love some feedback here today. All right, good. Appreciate that, LJ. Good. I'm working really hard on trying to stay calm throughout the trading day. Yeah, I hear that. It was a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a back and forth all session. Yeah, and it's moving in like the most treacherous way. It's gonna break down here. It's like this is the flush spot now, right, LJ? Like once it's literally exhausted everyone to the upside and to the downside, now it can die in peace. It's like a cat. All right, good. Appreciate that, guys. And yeah, I'm too old to be a pain in the ass or to get agitated on the stream, so I'm really working on it. Yeah, it's 38. So it literally had to rip everyone's heart out to 76. And then it ran down. Honestly, guys, it's more fun to be emotionally volatile, but I get burnt out so much faster that it's not worth it. Oh, what a life. Good, Steve. Good. Great answer, to be honest. You know what? It's not that we were being kind of patient, that we're being deliberate, right? And so, like, even on that trade, this trade had extreme potential to be extremely tilting, right? Had we ignored this signal to have gone out of that position, this thing would have stopped us out by 3 or 4 points before running 100. And I think we'd all be pretty pissed off with ourselves and the market and this game's fucking rigged. 4:15 now, AJ, if you're still paying attention. So we had the vibe, right? We knew it was coming, but the market, one of my favorite sayings I was ever taught is the market likes to move in the second most obvious way. So it's like it was obvious that the flush was coming, but when those things happen, they always move in the second most obvious way. Think about that a lot, actually. All right, guys. Any other questions here? I'm not going to place any further trades this morning. Well, we got out because we knew it was going to do something fucky or funky, or told us that our idea was running out of momentum. So, yeah, no problem with that. I'd always rather be, I don't know, as objective as I can be. Easier said than done sometimes, though. Let's be honest. All right, guys. Final call for questions here. Final call for questions. So, MP Trader, man, like, I don't know how else I'm supposed to give you a tighter entry. I'm giving you the difference between my blue line and my red line. Like, I'm literally showing you what my entry price is going to be before it happens. So, everything on my screen is already giving you that. I'm giving you 10-point stop losses on a 25,000 point security. I don't know how much like more specific I can be, or like how much clearer I can be on it. It's your job to be able to set your order window up, right? Type in those numbers and set up your technique to execute when I'm doing. But fundamentally, if you're going to be waiting to hear that I'm in and like you need me to hold your hand up into that point and you can't make that decision for yourself, then I don't really want to do this, right? Because then it's not your decision, it's my decision. And that's not particularly fun. You're going to start blaming me if things go well. You're going to start blaming me if things go poorly. And I'm going to have none of the financial upside of that while having all the time and stress commitment of making you rich. So the only way this works is if you hold yourself accountable to your own entries, your own decisions. You take the information that's made available to you. It's extremely specific and precise. And if you don't like that tough shit, you're going to struggle to find anyone else that offers anything even close to this level of transparency and giving you the information you need before. We are literally the only trading program that tells you what we're going to be doing a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before it happens. So you have all that time to set yourself up, be prepared, and to execute your technique. To then ask me to wipe your ass and hold your hand an extra further step is a really unfair ask, and one that's not going to make you any money. And I already say, like, when I'm saying watching here or looking for that gentle pullback, what that means is that if it goes under my reference price or gives me a better entry than my reference price, then I'm clicking submit. So I'm already using the cadences and clues that you're asking for. You're just asking me to do them in the language that you want to make your life easy. And I do things my way, not your way. Anything else, guys? All right, sweet. See you tomorrow.